From bad title reigns to lack of opportunity to women wrestlers just straight up getting no reaction at times, whether it's by booking or the fact that the roster is actual garbage, the women's division in WWE is struggling and is not good at all right now. But there's ways to fix that, but there's current problems as well. So I'm going to go ahead and discuss those. Let's get into it. Now, the first reason the women's division sucks is because Triple H has no idea how to book championship reigns for his women's wrestlers, because all the championship reigns for women in the last couple years can be summarized with this. There's no good feuds. The feuds are bad. There's no real meaningful segments done by these women unless your name is Rhea Ripley pretty much. And then on top of that, there's no matches. And when there is matches, there's no great build-up. Because at the end of the day, like, realistically, there's no other way to say it. The champions that are women champions don't get treated as actual champions. Let me explain. Rhea Ripley, for example, I know everyone loves her, all that stuff, but her world championship reign was overrated. After her amazing match at WrestleMania 39 versus Charlotte, what did she do after that and from that point to the following WrestleMania? Nothing. There was no good feuds, barely any matches in general, but just the matches that actually happened weren't even good, and there was nothing compelling and interesting because we knew Rhea Ripley was going to beat whoever she fought. Bayley, she just got the title after overcoming Io Sky and Damage Control and winning the title at Mania 40, and then what? Nothing happens, and the champions now are pretty much relegated to doing nothing. They don't even get on the show sometimes, man. Like, Nia Jax just won the title at SummerSlam, and on last week's SmackDown, she wasn't even on the show. They canceled her segment for that show. That is ridiculous. For your women's champion to get her segment axed from the show, you have Io Sky, who barely got in any feuds or any matches, and she was the WWE Women's Champion. It's just very odd. But then a person like Liv Morgan or Rhea Ripley can get segments and matches out the wazoo whenever they feel like it in pointless feuds. Like, what is the booking? What is the thought process there? No one else gets any good championship matches. They get no feuds, and they get no build-up to these matches, which ultimately makes the matches feel pointless because you know who's going to win, number one. The quality isn't that good, and the build-up sucks. And another reason I think the women's division is struggling is a mix of two different things. Number one is that the booking is bad from Triple H in the sense that he has no idea what to do with the women stars and who to push and who not to push. And then another thing that kind of coincides with this reason is the simple fact that women wrestlers are not given a chance to really do much in the WWE unless your name is Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, or even, I guess, Liv Morgan now if you want to add that in there, right? You have a bunch of different talented women wrestlers in the locker room, like Jade, Bianca, Zelina Vega, I think, is talented. Io Sky is very talented. And, you know, even Bianca, I already said Bianca Belair, I guess, but you get the point. There's multiple different talented wrestlers. But at the end of the day, Triple H will continue to keep pushing forward wrestlers that nobody cares about, like Sonya Deville, Zoe Stark, and Shayna Baszler, who all suck in the ring and suck on the mic and get no reaction when they go out to the crowd. Same thing with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Your literal tag team champions go out there and get no reaction when they come out into the crowd. And honestly, Liv Morgan, if it wasn't for this Judgment Day, Dominic Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley stuff, she wouldn't really be getting much of a reaction either. And I understand that Zelina Vega doesn't get a great reaction, and some of the people I name, like Io Sky, doesn't always get a great reaction. I understand that. Well, Io Sky gets a great reaction in the ring like 90% of the time. But anyways, you get the point. Just because you get a reaction doesn't determine whether you're a good wrestler or not, but at the end of the day, it kind of does, right? That's what wrestling is. It's about the crowd. And if the crowd is not giving you feedback on a wrestler, it's time to move on from that wrestler. The Pure Fusion Collective with Sonya Deville and Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler needs to stop. We're done with that. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark have been a failure in the company for the last year or two. We're done with this now, man. If things are not working, you have to move on. There's no reason why the Pure Fusion Collective has had more matches and more screen time than someone like a Jade Cargill or Bianca Belair over the last month or two. That is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And after the promo that Zelina Vega cut backstage a couple weeks ago or a month ago on Raw, which was great, she's easily a better promo worker than pretty much every other woman on Raw, and she gets no time or no chance to do anything because PLEs are 4 or 5 matches. The women barely get anything to do. It's just not conducive for women to do anything. That's why you have Lyra Valkyria and Kiana James, who are just, Kiana Chance, what is her name? I don't even remember. Those draft picks they just brought up earlier this year, and they're already jobbers. They're already jobbers. They haven't done anything. They get no title matches, no pub, no rub, no pop, nothing. Nothing. Io Sky, as talented as she is, she's probably the best in-ring wrestler in the company right now, and she gets no shine to do anything. She gets one little jobber match like twice a month on Raw. That's it. No promos, none of that stuff. It's sad. In Dakota Kai, you're telling me Dakota Kai is not more talented than Sonya Deville? Than Isla Dawn? Than Alba Fire? Than Lyra Valkyria? Like, come on now, bro. Lyra Valkyria don't even get much time, but she gets more than Dakota Kai, which is outrageous. And the third reason, and this one is honestly the most ridiculous, is the fact that these women's wrestlers now, for the 95% of them, get no reaction when they come out. And this is absolutely unacceptable. You have what? 40 different, but yeah, you probably have even more than that, hundreds of wrestlers you have on your roster for women's wrestlers and just wrestlers in general. For the fact that women are coming out there grinding all that stuff they do behind closed doors to come out there and get zero reaction, I understand that some of these wrestlers suck. Zoe Stark is garbage, Shayna Baszler's garbage, Sonya Deville, I think Michin is pretty trash as well, and whatever. A lot of other ones, you know who they are, right? The jobbers of the world. But the fact that every single women's wrestler, except for like 5 to maybe 8 different women's wrestlers at best in the company, get no reaction when they come out is insane. Bayley as WWE Women's Champion, when she came out, she barely got a pop after like the first month. That is absurd. And I understand most of them suck, but in every single roster, men and women's, you have at least 5 to 10 stars that you can pull from, bro. Or you should, at least for a healthy division, like a healthy company, a healthy roster of stars, which this company clearly doesn't have. I mean, Cody Rhodes is a bad champion. Damian Priest wasn't a good champion. Who else? You know what I mean? Like, there's a bunch of other people who just lack the talent to be superstars and main eventers. We get the point. However, this is unacceptable, man. The fact that these women can go out there and get no pop and no reaction is all related back to how they're booked and how they're portrayed. If they don't have a story, which a lot of them don't, if they don't have a good theme, which a lot of them don't, if they don't wrestle good matches, which a lot of them don't, and if they go out there and can't cut a promo, which a lot of them can't, they're not going to get a reaction. And I get that. But they can improve and get to that point where they get a reaction. So the fact that there's that many that don't get a reaction lets you know that they are not being booked properly. And on top of that, it lets you know that the roster does indeed suck. But at the same time, something is missing when it comes to the development of these women's wrestlers. And this last point kind of piggybacks off my last point. The roster is definitely lacking in multiple departments. It's lacking in the men's and it's lacking in the women's. Cody Rhodes is a bad champion. Bayley was a bad champion. So on and so forth. There's no good promos, no good feuds, barely any good storytelling, and barely any great matches when it comes to the women's division nowadays. I'm sorry. And the championship booking, like I already discussed, isn't good. And this is why, this is one of the last things I say in this video, it is time for a revamp. Different women stars need a chance, which is why when Becky Lynch won the Women's World Heavyweight Championship, I was honestly like dumbfounded. How in the world is she winning the championship? If you have a chance to do a battle royal, you might as well put the title on someone like a Nia Jax, or even tried out freaking Maxine Dupree, or tried out Liv Morgan for all I care. Like, anything could have been done. It's time to elevate different women's wrestlers like Maxine Dupree, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, and so many other, not so many others I should say, because the roster ain't that good, you get what I'm saying? But multiple other women need to be given a chance. Obviously, we don't know if it's going to work, but you don't know if it's going to work until you try it. You tried with Sonya Deville and Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. It's not working. Liv Morgan, you tried with her. It honestly isn't working until this storyline with Rhea Ripley and the Judgment Day. But after this is done and all the Rhea Dom stuff and Liv stuff is done, Liv Morgan's probably going to go back to being a jobber, I'm going to be honest with you, right? You have to figure out ways to try other new stars and make them engaging. Maxine Dupree, she's developing in the ring, and maybe she's developing on the mic behind closed doors, who knows? But it's time to try new superstars because the current roster and the way that they're being booked and developed is not working. They have not developed any new stars under this Triple H regime, this new era regime, so it's time to revamp. And with that being said, that's why I think the women's division right now is garbage, but it can be developed in the future or whatnot. But right now, it sucks and it's struggling poorly and badly. Let me know what you think about this video, and let me know what you think about the WWE Women's Division in the comment section below. And as always, I thank you for watching and hope you guys have a phenomenal day. Peace out.